Hi, welcome to my kitchen. It's not actually my kitchen, but it's my office. Because one of my roommates is currently cooking her breakfast, and I don't want to be disruptive and just have a camera in there in her face. So here we are. Today, we're going to be talking about social media's impact on the way that we consume food. And while we do that, I am also going to be making a lemon blueberry loaf. Except it's going to have blackberries instead of blueberries because, quite frankly, I'm not the biggest blueberry fan. So let's get started. So while there were food magazines, blogs, and networks to fill your food cravings before, there's now a new kind of food genre that has been taking the internet by storm for the last 20 years. Social media has turned into a new medium that has limitless possibilities when it comes to sharing those real aesthetic photos of food. These curated posts, whether you'd like to see them or not, bombard people on a daily basis, all thanks to social media. There's a reason that food content is constantly trending across social platforms. This isn't just a coincidence. With social media running the lives of people in the 21st century, it is no surprise that this new wave of food content has been successful in gaining a massive following. It is not uncommon knowledge that everything on social media is a sparkling, perfected version of itself, pretty much attempting to almost perpetuate the idea of a perfect person, home, or life. But this ideology has also transcended into the world of food. But how exactly does this new picture-perfect world change the way that we consume food on just a day-to-day basis? There's been a shift of food just being simply food to being interpreted as more of a cuisine. And the thing is there's a difference between a food and cuisine. The difference between food and cuisine is that cuisine is a formal and symbolic representation of culinary practices. It consists of more than just the food itself, taking into consideration the coming together over food and encounters with food when it is first served. More often than not, people are now able to see that food speaks to culture and that it allows us to indulge in pleasure, whether it's from consuming it or just simply looking at it, like on a social media feed. The rise in popularity of food content, otherwise known as food porn, can be attributed to the rising interest in gastronomy. So, gastronomy is the study of the relationships between food and culture. So it takes into consideration the preparation, serving, cooking styles, and science behind what qualifies truly as good eating. There's also been a rise in the importance of commensality, but we don't typically think about sharing food as being a large part of human culture until you actually really take a step back and think about how many special occasions in your life are trademarked with sharing some kind of meal. There's a lot. This notion of commensality has translated naturally over to social media, as social media is the place where people can share really whatever they please. You can look at the increasing popularity of sharing your meals on the internet with your followers as a kind of form of commensality, if you really think about it. Also, I know for anyone watching who thinks, oh my God, what has she done? I messed up, okay? I bake a decent amount. I haven't baked in a while, and I made a rookie mistake of combining cold milk with melted butter. Don't do that because it will harden the butter and it will look curdled. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Let's just keep rolling. We understand exactly how sharing food on social media works and why it is so popular. But it is much more difficult to understand exactly how the sharing of food on social media has an effect on what and how we consume food daily. There is so much concern over how something is being presented on the internet. It has now changed how we present food to others. An example, the fact that I just gave a disclaimer about me mixing ingredients in the wrong way. So, carrying on. This is seen through the arranging of plates, food, and cutlery in order to snap a perfect photo. But it's not just about getting an aesthetic photo of your meal anymore. We've been conditioned to view food in a certain way. So for something to appear appetizing on a wide scale, it has to appear a similar way to, what you see on the internet. These perfect, curated photos have led us to believe that good food looks a certain way. So we aspire for, our basic home-cooked meals to have the exact same appearance as what you see on social media. I don't know how many times I have seen a recipe on social media and I get really disappointed when it doesn't look exactly like the photo. Because of this, our palates have changed, so we only really get excited about food that looks good according to the new social media standards that have been set. There has also been major shifts in the way we consume food, mainly affecting our eating habits. According to a study conducted by the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine, people who spent more time on social media were more likely to report that they had issues with their body image. Obviously, this is kind of common knowledge, but food also plays a role in that, because when it comes to looking at photos of food, it has been shown that it can lead to excess consumption and unhealthy eating habits. Obviously, it's easy to understand how social media impacts someone's unhealthy eating habits. You see a photo of some unhealthy food and get a craving for it. But the thing is social media also has an impact on, the healthy food that you consume. And it's quite frankly just as common. When discussing healthy food trends that are seen on social media, things get a little bit unclear and a lot of it distorted. According to a food policy published in 2020, social media can act as an information hub for food literacy, healthy eating, and well-being. Sounds great, but this is where things can get blurry. There is concern over the lack of control over the quality of the shared information and the risks of knowledge distortion. The reason for this is because of consumption biases. These food biases that people have will distort the information that they are sharing about healthy eating to whoever their followers. These food biases that people hold will distort information that they are sharing about healthy eating habits and dietary changes. These biases that can affect the information that a person is sharing about food literacy can be mindset, socio-cultural differences, and cognitive dissonance. While social media can serve as a positive platform for nutritionists and food literacy experts to share information about healthy eating behaviors and practices, it does not prevent people from sharing inadequate information. All of these factors are something that we forget to consider when we see an influencer peddling a healthy eating plan to their followers. Whether it is in the form of a meal plan, supplement, or smoothie, this can have a direct implication on viewers who do not consider these influencers' biases and can lead to what is ultimately a distorted view, further spreading false information that can be damaging to some people's health and well-being. So, something that people also forget to kind of remember is that when an influencer or internet personality is pushing some kind of food or food product onto their viewers, there is probably a good chance that they're being paid to do so. Which leads me to my next point of how social media impacts the way we consume food through advertisements as well. Social media has basically just become one gigantic catalog of just ads, like a Sears catalog almost, of just advertisements that don't look like advertisements at that. So social media inherently has turned into a great way to market to a specific demographic because everything is so curated exactly to each individual person depending on what their interests are, what they search up on the internet. It's all curated just for you. So the thing is with this is it works, but it almost works too well. The American Marketing Association defines marketing as the process of planning and executing the conception, pricing, promotion, and distribution of goods, services, and ideas to create exchanges that satisfy individual and organizational objectives. A way a company is able to successfully market their products to a wider audience is obviously, through something that people use on a regular basis, which is social media. Now, brands, especially food brands, really try to be relatable to their followers and positions themselves as though they're like people and not actually just corporations that are running these accounts to specifically sell a product. This is, really, really perfectly seen. As I was saying, this is perfectly seen through, Twitter. When you look at different companies, social media accounts, like for example, No Name, Sunny D, Pop-Tarts, they all participate in this kind of marketing, and it's really funny and it's relatable to the average, young person that they're attempting to brand to. So of course it's going to attract more people to the product if they're putting out advertisements that people, for one, don't even realize are advertisements, but are also very, very memorable. This kind of marketing is so effective that after you see a funny tweet from Sunny D, the next time you're at the grocery store, you'll be more inclined to purchase it. Now, after that long-winded and a little bit heavy conversation, I'm gonna go put this in the oven so it turns into an actual loaf and not just a bowl of batter. Wow, movie magic. Honestly though, not half bad for messing it up. I'm not gonna try it on camera. No, I'm not gonna sabotage myself like that, but that's okay. This is really just a surface level understanding of how social media impacts the way we consume food. It is such a complicated web that would take much longer than a brief video to grasp exactly how deep it goes. But it is really interesting to think about. So next time you're on social media, ask yourself these 3 questions. 1, has social media influenced the way or what you consume on a daily basis? 2, how often do you see curated posts about food that feel targeted towards you specifically? And 3, think about how often you see influencers promoting a different kind of food product, whether it be on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. So today I'm gonna leave you with those questions to think about, and I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I would just like to thank you for watching.